Episode 117, Mom's Basement MMA. I've made it to almost 120 episodes, and Serena De Jesus, my next guest, was with me in like the first 20. So now, like, here I am, about 100 episodes into the future. My hair has started to grow slightly since I've been in my MMA bunker I got going down here. I was upstairs. We've relocated, though. I got a much more sophisticated setup. I got dials and all kinds of, evil henchman shit going on down here, Serena. You would be proud. You would love my MMA little bunker I got going down.
You're living up to the word. You're living up to the title.
I am. And I want to talk to you about Mario Kart, and there's a reason why.
Okay.
There's a reason why. You are from Philadelphia. And I know about Philadelphia. I've been to Philadelphia. We have something in common. I live in the Washington, D.C. area. There is a lovely little stretch of road. I like to call Rainbow Road, a.k.a. I-95. That's the road that I know you are familiar with. I know I'm familiar with it. And if you have driven in Philadelphia or in the Washington, D.C. area, you can drive almost anywhere on the planet because people just straight up do not give a fuck anywhere you go. I have to ask, more difficult, I-95 in the summertime or Rainbow Road after you smoked a bunch of weed?
Now you just did a whole bunch of weed part in it. Oh my God. So at least if I fall off Rainbow Road, I know I'll get put back up.
Right.
I don't have that promise on the I-95 in the summer, so I'm gonna edge out with I-95 in the summertime being scary.
Is it so I have to ask, like, when I was thinking about Mario Kart, I brought this up because, like, my son is 5 years old. He's obsessed with Mario Kart, loves it, absolutely loves it. But he's kind of like, he has like a really vanilla taste. He's always Mario, and I'm like, we gotta spice things up. So
I agree.
Who was like your go-to in Mario Kart? I have to ask.
Okay, so in the original, I was like Yoshi a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, Yoshi. Are we surprised? Godzilla and dinosaurs and all sorts of shit.
The
It's
lizard
like,
thing. Yep.
It's like I'm an angry 5-year-old who just loves their giant reptiles. Okay. And Yoshi was cool as fuck.
Yep.
But then, and as we went on, I went to Bowser again, no surprise. Then Dry Bones, and then Dry Bowser, and then I went to now I've gone to like some of the little, I guess they're Bowser's kids, like Iggy and like Ludwig.
Yeah. I'm gonna share with you my two go-tos: Wario and Donkey Kong. I love those two.
My brothers do that. That's what my brothers pick.
Yeah.
Or their other third honorable mention is Waluigi nowadays.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I like that vibe, and I was always like, is it in my head, like, if you are Donkey Kong or like Bowser, if you're like one of the meaty ones, does it seem like you go slow as fuck, but then you can like bounce anyone off? Or is that just in my head?
It used to be like that more in the older games, but I find with the newer games, because the newer Mario Karts, as you see, you can like customize your wheels, your paraglider, your car or motorcycle frame to fit the parameters of what you want to go racing. Now, before I get sounding super nerdy on this, full disclaimer, my mom whoops my ass and everybody else's ass in the family in Mario Kart. Just full disclaimer.
It'd be interesting.
Like Mario Kart on the Wii, and she's like smoking all of us. And me, my two brothers, and my sister were looking at each other like, how the hell is she doing this?
You know what my jam was, though? And I'm gonna be dating myself. My jam was GoldenEye. I fucked people up with that game. On N64.
Like,
oh yeah.
Like, GoldenEye, Donkey Kong 64 was my jam. Like, I get it.
yeah, absolutely. And what saddens me is we have a new generation of fighters that I've been talking to, that they were born like when I was like being awkward with girls in high school. Like, that's when they were born. And I'm just like, yo, you remember GoldenEye? And they're like, what? And I'm like, oh God, I'm sorry. Like, I just realized you were born in the year 2000, and I feel old as shit. So
how do you think I feel teaching my students and talking about VHS tapes?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're like, what that? I'm just like, oh, I just died a little on the inside.
Yeah, like cordless phones were a big deal. Remember when we got those and it was like, holy shit, we're not attached to the wall anymore. And now it's like,
I still love that we're living in the era where I don't have to like have all this shit attached, like say a Walkman in my fucking pocket and like wait for the one. No, the real fancy people have the ones in their pockets with the skit protection.
oh yeah, yeah. There was nothing more painful than getting that low rent Discman, and every step you took, yeah, yeah. It
Yeah,
was an
exactly.
absolute shit show. So, speaking of shit shows,
Oh God. You
let's
mean
talk about
reality?
violence.
No, stop
Oh,
playing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's. I want to talk about. I thought your last fight was a shit show, not because I wasn't impressed by your performance. I thought the judging was an absolute disgrace. We'll get to that in a second. But before we
Mhm.
do, I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on the Lauren Mueller fight. Lauren Mueller. I don't. I want to set the record straight because I think it's really important to talk about Lauren.
Mhm.
Lauren Mueller is a fucking beast. And people are going to look at her record and at first glance, like this is why I always tell people, and I feel like I say this on every single episode I do, look beyond the record. Look at the people that she's fought. And when you do look at the people that she's fought, she went through murderers row, including you.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I mean, she fought the Mulan girl, like that's her nickname, Mulan. I forget her real name. She
Yeah,
fought
but I know
Botello,
exactly.
yep,
Oh God, Poliana Botello is a monster. I've trained with her once.
and
She's fun
JJ,
though. Yeah.
and then you. Like, I can't think of like a more difficult stretch than that. Like, Lauren Mueller is not somebody who's like she's not a can, she is not a chump. Like, she's a big, tough, scary girl. And
I met her before she was in the UFC. Here's how I know her. In the amateurs, she beat my teammate, Hannah Fitzpatrick.
mhm,
And when I saw that girl beat my friend, who normally would give me hell as an amateur, I knew Lauren was the real deal. It was
yeah.
just interesting how years later, after I see her beat my friend, I had to kind of go and do my thing.
You did, and I think it's important to talk about her because context is important,
Mhm.
and her record isn't the greatest, but you have to look beyond that and you have to like really understand and appreciate her body of work, the quality of opponents that she's come up with. And then you two faced off, and you're not an easy fight either. Like, the fact that she was willing to like entertain that and not, go into crusher mode for a little while to build up her confidence. I think that says a lot about her as well. So we had two like alphas going at it, you and her. And with all respect to Mueller, I think she's a fantastic fighter. I thought you completely dominated that fight. Truly, I truly do.
I
And
felt like a lot. I felt like I did enough to get more than a split decision nod. It was
and
very interesting.
I was going to ask you, Serena, can you like walk me through just kind of like that fight? Was there anything that Lauren did that surprised you? Was there anything about this bout 4 or 5 months later that you look back on? You're like, I'm really happy with like X, Y, and Z. I just wanted to get your thoughts on your performance against Mueller because I thought you were amazing.
So I thought I did well in the fight, but even right after the broadcast ended and we all went to the fighter hotel, everybody's out doing their celebrations and whatnot. I knew that my fight was on Fight TV. So what do? I go right upstairs to my room. I put on the fight because I'm using my brother's account and I knew my brother ordered the fight. I'm rewatching with my coach and my mom, of all people, in there too, the entire fight because I also wanted to hear the commentary. So I'm like, okay, what did I do great? What did I need to improve on? So I thought I did great with my pressure. I thought I did great finding my target, obviously, in the first round. And, I thought I pushed the pace. I thought I kept control of the fight. And I at least landed noticeably enough more than Mueller did. But Mueller was not going out. Like, I really tried to end her in the first round, but she had good control. She kept me kind of pinned. She put me in a position where I felt I had to be on her more and try and tire her out before I advance. Because my original plan is I want to get on top of her, just start raining elbows down because I get top position, it's over for all y'all. So couldn't get that. So I'm trying to tie her in half guard. I'm hitting her, trying to force a mistake. And then, I kind of got where I wanted, just not enough time. So the second round happens. And she surprised me with her level feint. And she hit me. I didn't think she was going to hit me like she did, but it was good. It didn't stun me. It was something I kind of got annoyed with the commentary. Like, oh, that stunned Serena. It got my attention. It didn't stun me. I was still in it. I just realized, hey, don't let her hit you in the face like that again. You're not a punk bitch, which is basically what I was telling myself. And that's why I started coming forward with more combos and pinning her to the wall, because I was actually kind of mad at that one shot she got after she faked it upstairs.
Sure.
I'm like, all right, now I'm going to knee you in the head for that shit. But we kind of had this interesting kind of respect between fighters moment, although brief, in both rounds 1 and 2. And round 1 or 2, one of those things, I was trying to get her in a clinch. And at one point, while she got away, my hands accidentally got here. And she looked at me. I put my hands out like this, both my hands signaling, I didn't mean that. And I let her off the fence. And she kind of gave me that, this motherfucker, all right, kind of look.
Mm-hmm.
And in round 2, when I was coming forward with a combo, trying to pin her on the wall because I wanted to try and see if I can get some takedowns or some elbows in. She did a better job than I anticipated of blocking my cage offense. So that was really cool. But at one point, as I came in, we kind of collided heads, but she realized it wasn't on purpose. But out of nowhere, because I'm just a nice person, even if I'm trying to take your head off, I'm like, sorry, because I realized this is a fight, but it has rules. So I'm not trying to do anything dirty. And if I unintentionally do something, I do say sorry. But she's like, you're okay, girl. And I'm like, yeah, this motherfucker right. So that's why by round 3, I don't know what came over me, but I just yelled right before the round started. And then I just came in. We're starting to slug each other because Mueller knows she's down 2 rounds. I know I need to finish this because I have not had the best experiences with judges. And I am dead ass trying to hurt her. I'm trying to kick her in the head. I'm trying to do all sorts of nasty shit, but she's good and she's hitting me back because she realizes what's going on. And then at the end of it, she's cool. She gave me a hug and everything, a peck on the cheek, and we're all cool about it. And then I'm thinking, yeah, I did really well. I pushed the pace. I kept her going back. I was hitting her to the very end. I'm going to do great. So I have my hand raised. I'm thinking, it's going to be a 29-28, if not more than that. And then they're like, the judges have a split decision. I'm like, what? They go 29-28 Mueller, and you see my infamous, like, what
the fuck? Yep.
I'm like, what the fuck? I'm looking at Marvin. Marvin's furious in the corner. Like, I swear that man was going to hunt down those judges. And then when the thing was read, I'm just like, fuck, I'm just happy I won. I'm just happy I didn't get robbed over there, because like, it's not just about my record. It's about, goddamn, a girl needs some money. A girl needs to be paid. This girl be like, judges don't realize that they're taking money from fighters due to incompetent calls. Like, if you want to play Fruit Ninja on your phone, go do it somewhere else, not when you're judging a fight, or at least go get better training.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, like, what could there be? That's the thing about these like athletic commissions. It's like the fight game in general. It's kind of like a shady, dirty business all around. And like when it comes to like these athletic commissions, like what are the credentials to judge? Like, what do you have to do in order to judge? And that's the problem, though. We don't know, and it varies. And I don't like that.
But they're certified in specific martial arts. Like, one could be a boxing judge, one can be a kickboxing judge, one could be, I don't know, a high school wrestler. But just like how the states do not have unified standards with MMA, like some are still using the old rules, some are using the new rules, we don't have the same qualifications for judges.
Yeah.
And I think that's the horrible thing, is we don't have a unified system in the country. We don't have unified training for judges in the country, and fighters ultimately are paying the price for it.
Absolutely. That's why I call it
out there, but it's not enough. Like, I know Herb Dean does like judging academies, and reffing academies. I know
Herzog,
Big John McCarthy, they're all running these kind of clinics, but Yeah, that's great and all, but I think that's a Band-Aid over a bullet hole that needs to be addressed right now.
No, you're absolutely right. It does. And we see it at all levels of competition, whether you're fighting at a fairground and seeing Amis compete or a UFC pay-per-view title fight. And we saw that time and time again. But like one of the robberies that is just still fresh in my mind, probably because of the upcoming pay-per-view bout, was Holloway Volkanovski 2. Like, there's no way you can tell me that Max Holloway didn't win that fight. I did not agree with that whatsoever. I thought that was a
I'll
clear
name you one
decision.
bigger. I will name you one bigger. Maverick versus Barber.
Oh yeah, well, hang on. Miranda's right there. She can hear us.
Hey, what's up, Miranda? No, we're cool. I've hung out with her a few times. She's super nice.
She is, she's amazing, and I would agree with you on that. That was an absolute travesty. I felt so bad for her. I really did.
Oh,
I mean that. I mean, yeah. I actually use that as a verb, like getting mavericked. I don't know about you guys, but like I use that, and like fighters know what I mean when I say that.
hey, I said it too.
It was an absolute disgrace. I felt terrible for her. Yeah, but you know, more Miranda Maverick news later. But
Woohoo.
at the end of the day, the right person won at the end. And there's been other things that have been going on with you post this fight. You've
Fuck, you ain't
recently,
kidding about that.
and let's talk about that for a second. So when we peel back the onion and like when we look at you, the last time you dropped a fight was against Evelyn Martins, and that was like in September of 2020. That was a minute ago.
Mhm.
You've gone on a 3-fight tear. Um,
Two of them
right?
UFC veterans.
Adcock, Phillips, now Mueller, and now we have Brosa. So, like by all accounts, things are going pretty well. But there's something that happened. Like you go from Team Syndicate, now you're with Extreme Couture. And it's not to say that like I haven't seen something like this before, but it's a little more, I don't know, unusual or peculiar, I'll say. When things are going good, you're on a 3-fight streak, and other things happen, and we can get as detailed or we could be as vague as we want to be. But I was going to ask, everything's going well inside the cage, but what's prompting you outside the cage to switch up gyms? Because I know that you've been at Syndicate for quite some time.
Unfortunately, loyalty is not respected like it should be, which is honestly where everything boiled down to and why I left. You can do everything for all the people, and then it almost becomes like it's expected of you when you extend yourself. But when you start doing things for yourself, like you think you're following the rules and doing what's right, somehow you're still wrong. Like, I never knew that training with coaches within the same gym that I train at, was somehow viewed as taboo when other people can go to other gyms and be okay. So here's where it got weird. So I'm training with my fight. I'm training with Mike Pyle over at Syndicate. He's my dude. He's like a fun uncle to me. I'm training with Marvin Eastman. That is how I turned my luck around my fights. Pyle's been very good with my movements and my grappling. Marvin Eastman has been there for sharpening my Muay Thai and a bit of my wrestling. And I also worked with Neil Mellinson. I still do here when I can, who helped me further in my ground game and my escapes. I had the trifecta right there. But some people seem to be very egotistical within the gym, and things just kind of got out of pocket. It didn't feel comfortable anymore. And I felt like it wasn't for me anymore. And I just kind of wanted to make things work. But then I had my kids program that I've been running with my friend Roxanne Modafferi. 4 years ourselves, suddenly taken away from both me and Roxanne without warning. And so when I approached about it, I was disrespected a lot and then told I didn't care about these kids or do well by them, which is pretty funny given I take kids from who don't medal to gold medals if they want to compete, or I just make kids feel better about knowing how to protect themselves. So then I got an invite from my friend Misha Tate, who happened to be one of the commentators for my fight. I was with her in 2016 in her camp against Holly Holm. And we all saw how that went. Maybe I'm a good luck charm. Who knows? But she's decided, hey, I would like you to be part of my fight camp. I think your striking is better than my opponent. Could you do it? I'm like, fuck yeah. It's like, dude, do you know how cool it is to be as an amateur being invited to like Misha Tate's camp when she was on the cusp of winning a world title? And then now as a pro, you still have her wanting you to come back again and work with her. Absolutely, I'm going to jump on this. Who wouldn't? You're going to learn something from Misha fucking Tate, right? So I told the head coach there my intentions. I'm going to train with Misha for a month, kind of take a break from everything because I think things are going a little rocky here. So it turned to me training with Misha Tate ended up with me being kicked out of the gym behind my back. I had to find out from my striking coach, Marvin Eastman, who showed me a text and it said, John told him nothing personal, but I'm not welcome back at Syndicate anymore. So I couldn't be told to my face I was being kicked out of the gym.
Because of cross training is what they're telling you.
Just down the street. And it's Misha Tate. I'm not staying there. I'm just part of her camp like I was in 2016 where it was all right. So it was kind of weird. And I felt really hurt and disrespected. So, I was kind of depressed a little bit afterwards. I was just like, I felt like I lost my kids in a custody battle that I didn't even know I was in. And then I get kicked out of a place I moved my entire life from Philadelphia all the way out there just to train. So it's just like, and it's through honestly no fault of my own. I don't do anything. I just fucking vibe and train.
Right.
So I was hurt. He couldn't even tell me to my face.
Especially after you've been there and put in the amount of time. Yeah,
helping everybody else out.
I think you were owed that much. And but let's like flip the script a little bit. Let's talk about your new gym, Extreme Couture. Just what has that experience been like now that you're with a new gym in a new environment after all this time? Like, are things a little weird? Are you still getting settled in? Do you feel at home there?
Kind of getting settled, but I like it there. It's so weird because now I'm in a gym that allows people to go to like a striking gym here or a jiu-jitsu gym over there. And Eric Nixick, I have nothing but high praise for. Like, I had my friend Jesse Jess talk to Eric because Eric met me before when I was with Misha in 2016. And then right before my fight with Mueller, because Jesse Jess was working with me when she was in town for that. And Eric just happened to be in the PI when we were training. So Jesse pleaded my case to Eric and let him know what was going on. And I had a conversation with Eric. And he's like, hey, come on in, see if you like it. And if you like it, we'd love to have you. And I like it. Like Misha's there. Some of my old syndicate friends are there, like Chris Curtis and everything. So I have some good people to work with. Even me and Taylor Gordado are cool. Like she understood like some of like the posts I was making after my fight was because I wanted another fight because I like money. She better like money too because she's got a kid to provide for. And like I said, when she went to PFL and went against Kayla Harris, I'm like, this bitch loved money. Good job.
Yeah.
So now we're cool and we go spar and work with each other here and again. She's cool. I mean, it kind of broke my heart when I had to be in the gym. Of course, when Casey O'Neill had to fight Roxy, because all the circumstance at Syndicate, my dream of being there in my friend's corner for her last dance couldn't happen because I can't do that on principle. Right. Even about, that whole thing with Syndicate aside, I'm in a new place. And that's Casey O'Neill's place. She's been there longer than me. Even though Roxy's my friend, there's some things I can't do. I had to be diplomatic about it. Yeah. So I had to watch from afar. I couldn't be there. And I just watched on TV like everybody else, I just told my friend good luck and everything, but I couldn't work with her. And Casey didn't want to work with me because she thought, maybe she thought I was going to say something to Roxy or whatever, but I can't do that. It's just not who I am. And if the cards were flipped, Roxy wouldn't do something like that either. It's just, you have to think of it like this. Even if you're not a moral person like me, you got to think of it like this. What would stop, if I did say something to Roxy or whoever fed information, what's stopping them from feeding information to a potential opponent of mine, Yeah. So it's just the best option for everybody involved, whether you want to be moral or not, is just not get involved in these situations and just be Switzerland.
Yeah, absolutely. There's something to be said about the Swiss neutrality, that's for sure. You fought.
The right thing to do is not always going to be painless.
10% of, I would say like 90% of the time, you're better served just shutting your mouth and not really saying a whole lot. The other 10%, it's like, if you see something egregious, like, yeah, absolutely. You have to like give a shit about certain things. And yeah, you're gonna have to put yourself out there to like fix a bigger wrong, if that makes sense. So like when you have to like stand up and like do what's right, like do the right thing, that takes courage, and you have to like get off your couch and you have to give a shit, and that means being vulnerable. And I think there's a sense of like vulnerability in a sense for you, because there are a lot of other people, and I'm not taking a shot at anybody. Like, I understand it, I get it. You relocated from the East Coast, you go to Las Vegas, you've been at this gym for a super long time, you know people, and even though the circumstances have changed and a lot of fighters have come and gone since then, there are a lot of people I feel like, and whether it's like possible or not, I don't know, they would have probably stuck it out, right? And put up with a toxic environment because it's what they know, it's what they're comfortable with. And making a switch at this point in their career, especially in your case, coming 3 wins in a row, it's like, oh well, things are, I'm doing good. So there are a lot of people that I think would have just like stuck it out and not been willing to change. And I think that takes a lot of courage to just realize, like, okay, like, yeah, like, performances aside, this is still the right thing to do.
The proof is the pudding. When even within Syndicate, when I changed my coaching, things worked. It's unfortunate that there's a crabs in the bucket mentality about it all, but it is what it is, and I had to roll with it. But in the end, even though it was a shitty thing that happened to me, it ended up being the best thing I needed. It's like the flower on the rainy day. It's not what I wanted, but it was what I needed to grow. You know what I mean?
And here we are. You have an amazing opportunity in front of you. Now, I will say this. There were 2 fights I wanted to see for you following the Mueller fight, for Invicta 47. I wanted the Tenet fight. And if you weren't getting if she wasn't ready to go, it was this fight was on deck for me. Like, when I was thinking about like all the possibilities, who are the 35ers that make sense at this point? Verosa, we all know that she just fought for the belt, and she dropped a decision against Tenet. They're not going to put her in there right away. Like for her to like get her place back, like, she has to get a win. For you personally, I think coming off of the win against Mueller, I thought that was enough to like get a shot. But you have an opportunity to fight the Battle Angel. This girl is no joke. She is big.
None
scary.
Of the girls I faced have been no joke.
This one in particular is frightening.
I know.
And can you tell me a little bit, Serena, like, this is somebody in the conversations we've had, this is somebody you've been wanting for a long time now, and it's finally happening. Can you talk a little bit about just why is it that you've been wanting to fight Lisa for as long as you have?
I've been slated to fight her in amateurs, and for whatever reason, and even for my pro debut, our fight together just kept falling through. I'm like, is this like the fighter equivalent of blue balls like I'm going through? I don't know. But like, I've just wanted to fight her because I know she's good. And if I'm slated to fight somebody, it just falls through. It's like, man, I just want to test myself. God damn it. It's nothing like about causing shit and like stirring the pot or like talking shit. It's just like, I have a limited time in this game. Right. I'm here to fight the best. I'm not here to pussyfoot around. Like, you go in my amateur career, all the girls I fought were on my on my level or a little above me. Look at my pro career, same shit. And that's why, like, me fighting Lisa, even though everyone's like Lisa's no joke, I goddamn know she's no joke. All the girls I have fought have been no fucking joke. So it's just another day in the office to me. And I am ready to fucking hurt people. Even though Lisa's my friend, she's in my way for money. And I fucking hate when people are in my way. I'm impatient. I'm from the East Coast. Fuck out the way.
Absolutely. And when you look at her body of work, like you see that her last 3 fights, it's kind of been interesting. 2 split decisions for her. One goes in her favor. She fought Storyolenko. That one didn't. She dropped that fight. And then she drops a unanimous decision against Tennant. Was there anything in those last 3 fights that you saw that I know 1 out of the last 3 doesn't always look that great, but at the same time, I mean, again, she's fighting like the toughest of the tough. I mean, she's not fighting cans. She's just like
her.
She's just like you. She wants to fight the best of the best. Is there
we talk to each other on the gram and shit, you know, because we're both violent fucking nerds. So yeah, we're friends. But like I said, friendship ends when you start getting in the way of my fucking money.
You guys can drink beers after the fight.
Exactly. No, we have a long-standing bet. The winner buys beer and pizza.
I think that's absolutely fair. When it comes to fighting Lisa, there's a lot to talk about in terms of like how good she is. Like there's a lot of things about her, but for the people out there who may not be like huge fight nerds like me, can you kind of give like your quick MMA for dummies? Like, this is why I think she's good in like a couple sentences.
Lisa is good because she is very durable. She is well-rounded and she likes to come forward, which is exactly what I like to do. So she likes to throw hands. I like to throw hands, but she has an interesting style that differs from mine. So I want to test my style against her striking style. And if she tries to grapple, great. My only finish on my MMA record is actually my amateur MMA debut where I choked out a jiu-jitsu instructor. So
hey, so we're ready. We're ready for that as well. This is a big fight. Now, obviously, anytime Invicta puts on a card, they're few and far between. So they almost kind of all have to be big fights. With that being said, like I know like your last bout was in August, September, something like that. So right. So we've had a little bit of time. I know you're itching to get back into there. And I know like you want to like split somebody's head open and see blood and stuff all over the canvas. I know you do. Tell me a little bit, like with a win over Lisa, like at this point in your career, a win over her that would put you at a solid 5-2 record. When I think about you, Serena, I think about, for whatever reason, and I don't understand quite what that is. I'm still trying to figure it out about you, but it's like, I think you're the type of fighter that tends to fly under the radar a lot. And I still haven't quite figured out why that is. You fought in,
because I don't take booty and boob shots. That's why.
Well, so you know, MMA cheeks. Why don't we chill out on the MMA cheeks, people? You know, that's all fine and well, but this is a sport about violence, not about, you know, showing your boobies. Anyway,
well, you know that is on the women's side. Unfortunately, it's like sex sells. Unfortunately, it's just like I'm shy as shit. So. You know, so I don't do that. You know, will I take a bikini picture when I'm enjoying it myself in the pool when it's hot as balls here in Vegas? Absolutely. But like, other than that, it's just like, I'm great.
I don't know. Like this sounds disingenuous.
Up, but that's it.
This sounds disingenuous, but like, this is like honest to God, this is how I feel. When it comes to like fighting, I don't fucking care. I don't care if you're fucking.
Thank you. That's because you have culture. You just care about the violence, and that's where the sport's supposed to be. But now it's just
all that other shit's irrelevant to me.
Entertainment, yeah. But unfortunately, the fight game has become sports entertainment. So,
well, if you know, there's a time and place, right? So it's like you want to like get on the porno, you can do that later. But like, I want to watch violence. I don't give a fuck about.
That's why I'm dedicating to splitting more people's heads open. That's it.
I think this is the type of fight that you need to have on your resume to get people, to force people to start paying attention. I'm a nerd. I know how good you are. I know how good Lisa is as well. A win over her, that would put a massive feather in your cap. And there's only one fight after that that makes sense. With the win over Lisa, there's only one fight that makes sense. And that's for the strap. So can you tell me a little bit, without looking too far ahead, when you think about like the rest of this year, like what is going on in your brain right now? Because we're really quickly, I feel like the pool of opponents that makes sense for you, like we're at a tight pool right now.
I know. So after my fight with Berzosa, obviously I want to take a little bit of a break, like maybe 2 months, because last summer I fought Liz Phillips and Lauren Mueller in only 3 weeks, separated those two fights, and that burned me the fuck out. So if I'm gonna fight for a title, I'm gonna fight for a title while I'm nice and refreshed, and I have all my, any potential injuries heal. And then I fight for the belt and see how that goes. And maybe that means and that can either equal I get the strap, I get signed to Contenders, or signed outright. So you know what? The future's looking up, Millhouse. And I'm excited. I'm just here to keep training and keep vibing with my coaches and everything, and all the people at Couture's and at Legend MMA over where I teach and train in the mornings.
I am kind of surprised that you haven't been on the Contender Series already. Like every single time like I hear about the Contender Series, I'm like, are they doing 35ers? Like who are they doing right now? Because I
feel like 35 is such a neglected class in female MMA right now. It was like the weight class with the opening of like 115 and now 125. It's just, I feel like 135 has become the neglected stepchild of the women's bantamweight division. The only thing worse that's neglected than that is obviously the women's featherweight division within the UFC. But
yeah, and it exists on paper, but like exactly. For all intents and purposes, it's obsolete. It's the Amanda Nunes division and whatever.
I mean, I hope there's more big girls because, god damn it, I love watching featherweights fight. Honestly, it's like they're the only division I feel that's more violent than the bantamweight division. Not to take away from the smaller divisions, because man, those little girls are fast with the scraps.
I do. I like the 15ers. I do. I think flyweight, it's weird because a lot of the names I think that we're used to seeing, I think we're gonna start like seeing like this new breed of like these new like young 25ers show up in the scene. Miranda Maverick's not even ranked right now.
I'm thinking right now of all the high school, all the girls who did wrestling all their life, now coming into MMA. That's going to be a scary feat because, like, my generation, like, yeah, there were some of us who wrestled, but it was not as open to women as it is now. Like, there's girls wrestling all over now. Thank God. So that next generation is going to be a very scary one in MMA, in my opinion.
I look at the 25ers. It's like, okay, calm before the storm. New blood is going to be coming in. Macy Barber, Aaron Blanchfield, Miranda Maverick, and so on and so on. There's going to be more and more and more of them. I look at the women's 35ers. And I like, honestly, for the UFC, and like, I just feel it's stagnant. I do, like, Pena aside, Pena getting the championship belt aside, I do think it's stagnant. It's the same names I've been seeing for a really, really long time. And I'd like to see an infusion of newer people show up and start competing. And when I look at the top 15, throw Serena in there. Serena could win that fight. Serena could win that fight. Serena could win that fight. Fight Raquel Pennington. I know she's cool, but fight her. Like, there's all these people that are in there that have been around.
People. I mean, first things first. I'm not going to overlook Lisa, and I'm going to fight her. And then step by step, I'm going to fight everybody else. It's just all I need is a chance. That's it.
That's all you need. And they're not going to be able to deny you with that belt on your waist. They can't deny you. They can't take that away from you. And you're going to have to like pound down the door to get in. I'm afraid that's just the case, but I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. When it comes to Serena, before I let you go, I want to ask a very, very important question. Got a big pay-per-view card coming up this weekend, and you're a fight nerd just like me. Not every fighter is, and I don't hate on the fighters that don't follow it because you got your own shit to do. Totally understand. But I'm a nerd and I like fights. It's what I do. That's what my show's about.
Gang.
Tell me about a fight that you are looking forward to on the big pay-per-view card that is happening this weekend.
Obviously, Volkanovski versus Korean Zombie. I really I love Volkanovski. Like Short Kings, awesome. Rise of the Short Kings. I'm so excited for that. But god damn it, I know it's going to be an exciting fight whenever the Korean Zombie enters the ring. Honestly, I thought Korean Zombie against Yair Rodriguez was doing well until that mystical, magical elbow out of nowhere. So, and that was a fucking war. So I'm excited about that most of all.
I'm excited about Burns and Chimaev. I think that's going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I'm only looking at this because, I'm not taking away from Cosman at all. He's cool. Oh my god, it's so wild to see him at Couture's training. I got to see him training, and I'm like, whoa, that's so cool. But then again, this is also the same gym where Francis is about, and it's like, oh hey Francis, how are you? Again, kind of weird. And I'm looking up, hey, how you doing up there, Francis? How's the weather?
Well, what's so crazy though is Gilbert Burns is my size, he's not a tall dude, and Chimaev is massive.
But yeah, Gilbert Burns is built like a fucking pit bull. So
absolutely. That guy is
this is the best scenario for Cosmo because he gets to test himself against someone legit. Say he fails against Burns. Oh no, he's probably somewhere now in the top 5. Nothing really happens. And if he beats Burns, then holy shit, we might have an exciting ass fight against him and Usman. The fans win this fight.
I think we win no matter what happens. I'm very, very interested in that fight. And I'm going to share with you, because by the time this is uploaded and on the interwebs, all the fights will have already happened. This is either going to age very, very horribly, or I'm going to look like a genius. Josh Fremd against Anthony Hernandez. I'm betting on Josh Fremd. He's good as fuck. He trains at Factory X. He'll be making his UFC debut. He's been on the show before. He is a freaking monster. I like him to win, and I also like Mickey Gall to win. I like him to put it back together. He left his gym in New Jersey, and he's at Sanford MMA now. He felt like he needed to make a change and wanted to mix things up a little bit. He's going up against Mike Malott. Mickey Gall's the type of guy, he's so good, but inconsistent, drop a fight, win a fight, drop a fight, win a fight. And I'm like, Mickey, what's going on? You're better than this.
He's a cool dude. So it's I hope that, this change helps him out and he wins this fight. But I root for anybody who is a friend of the show. I root for them.
Yeah, well, Mickey Gall needs to be on the show. I know a few people at Sanford MMA, so I'll have to, rattle some cages and get Mickey Gall on the show. His name's Mickey. I'm not going to sing the song, but the song did enter. It did enter my mind, though. I'm not going to lie. And he is a good-looking guy. I'll give him that, too.
No, he did that. It was on purpose. He played it masterfully.
Hey, nothing but good things to say about him. And I'm excited for your fight, Serena. This is one of the fights, like I said before, this is one of the fights that I've really been looking forward to. There are 2 names, and I was like, I better hear one of these 2 names. It has to be Tenet, has to be Lisa. We got Lisa. I wasn't mad. I was like, okay, cool. I can roll with this.
Like I said, I was happy I got that fight because that was either one of those fights, I was going to smile. So this big old smile's on my face.
Hey, and kudos to her for taking it, because she's coming.
She's a tough broad and she don't run, and I'm so happy.
No, I think
I found the kindred spirit.
I think we the fans are really going to be in for a treat for this one, and I'm happy that this card is going to be I hope everyone just stays healthy. I hope all these bouts happened as scheduled because you know, the last card, I felt like we got really unlucky, and I think like a lot of really good fights ended up getting canceled because of injuries and because of Corona and whatnot. So I'm hoping we can preserve this one because I'm looking at it, I'm like, holy shit! Like I know all these people. This is going to be a good freaking card.
Oh, it is. As always, I'm bringing the violence.
And I can't wait to see it. Serena, I wish you the best of luck. And for those of you who are interested in watching this fight, have no fear. All you have to do is go on UFC Fight Pass, and it should be right there. And you can also stream it on YouTube too, I believe. They did that last fight.
They're all on YouTube right now, on MMA Junkies YouTube page and Invicta FC's YouTube page. And it's for free.
And it is for free. Yeah, you fuckers. I had to pay for the last one. What the fuck? Your card I had to pay for. But I paid for it because I'm a G.
At least I made it worthwhile with that fight.
Yes, you absolutely did. I was happy to pay it.
Tony knockout was also pretty top tier.
It was. And but if you're on the card, I'll pay for it. But if you're not on the card, then it's like, is Alicia on the card? Then I pay for it. But if either of you two aren't on the card, So Serena, thank you for being here. Want to give you the opportunity. If there's anyone that you would like to thank or anything that you would like to plug, I'd want to give you the chance to do that.
Sweet. So I'd like to thank my sponsors, My Consumer IT Houston. So if you guys in the Houston area, you got computers and mainframes that need fixed, they're your peoples. I would also like to thank my friend Gene Bastami. He's been really helpful. And then my friend Michael Culver. I still gotta, play. I have to play some video games with him, but like he's been a true friend. He's helped me through these last few months. Goodness, there's a lot of sponsors I gotta thank. Southern Precision Tooling, they're another big one. Have my new rifle. It's so fucking fun to shoot now. Again, like you said, this is why I'm the zombie apocalypse, like
that's
survival
right. That's right. And I know a thing or two about AR-15s. I do.
Hey, well, I hope so. So there's that. But yeah, I'd like to thank my friend Kenny Knoll and the Healing Panda CBD for like taking care of me and my CBD needs and all that. Also, I'd like to thank Kara Lux Magazine. They had me be part of their events and everything, and they have promoted me, and it's been wonderful. I'd like to thank the Goat Wine out here in Las Vegas. Really good winery, and it's pretty good for people who are like trying to be fit, but like to decompress with a glass of wine here and again. They've been really great to me, so thank you to them. And there's a lot more, but I will like spend a lot of time through them, but I will be plugging them on my Instagram. I'll be plugging them on my Twitter. So please, everybody follow me and follow the nice people and my friends who keep supporting me on my MMA journey, because y'all mean the world to me.
Absolutely. And all of the good people and businesses that Serena's affiliated with, their contact information, their handles, all that other good stuff will be in the description of this video. So please check that out and do what needs to be done to be a good fan. Keep those places in business so they can keep sponsoring people like Serena.